All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of The Role Players. My name is Christian Hunt. To my right is my man, Mr. Dylan Walton.
Yes,
and
sir.
to my left is my man, Mr. Trey Whiteout. Guys, how we doing today so far?
Doing pretty well so far. How about y'all?
My back is cramping now, guys. So
Been sitting a little too long there, Chief?
yeah, well, just like Trey, I threw my back out like 2 weeks ago. So
Oh,
I'm
God.
recovering now.
What is it with everybody in their backs right now? Like, are you guys just putting life on your back and just
No.
it's beating you right now? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I wish I knew, because if I did, I probably wouldn't. I would at least avoid more work like that.
If I had to say mine's my shoulders.
I worked out shoulders yesterday.
I don't work out. But for my playing days, it's just like every day I'd wake up after playing, my shoulders would just feel like
Playing?
they're
What you
outside
mean?
my body.
Playing.
Yeah.
What you mean?
Football, like
Yeah.
high school.
For real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he used to play.
I played high school football.
Oh,
I wasn't any good.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't like a star,
Oh, okay.
but I played.
But you was a role player.
I was definitely a role
Come
player.
on,
Hey,
there you
starting
go.
offensive lineman,
Come
that's a
on.
role player.
Come on.
You know what I mean? If you started on the offensive line, that's a role player.
Yeah,
Now, I wouldn't
facts.
know Mac Daddy like David Bakhtiari or Jason Kelsey.
Speaking of David Bakhtiari, he just got put on the
IR.
injured list.
Yeah, I just seen
Golly,
that.
man. They don't have him or Elton Jenkins tonight.
They
Nope.
do not.
But they got Christian Watson.
That
They
Uh,
got Christian Watson and then I believe A.J. Dillon coming back for this game.
Yeah, that Packers money line is not looking too great now that David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins
Nah,
are
for
out.
real.
But
Yeah.
Jordan Love, we trust.
in love we trust. Guys, we are going to talk about the NFL. We're going to talk about college football. But guys, you know what we're going to start off talking about today in the Role Players podcast? Hey, Mr. Dylan Walton's fired up. I hope
Just going
I hope
up
we
there,
see
bro.
him on camera. See how fired up it is. Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Bucks, ladies and gentlemen. It's official.
It's insane.
It's done. He's with the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Just
Yeah, cool.
traded a lot too. It was actually a 3-team trade.
Yeah, with the Bucks.
Trade with the Suns and Trailblazers and the Bucks. Because what
Shout
was
out to
it?
my
Yeah.
sons. Well,
Well,
no, I'm not a Suns fan.
I was going to say,
Kevin Durant fan.
DeAndre Ayton is out in Phoenix. It's official. So that's
Yep.
kind of another big piece that's
Yep.
part of this trade. Drew Holiday, unfortunately, is part of the deal.
Yep.
He went to the Trailblazers. It's not, though, he's not expected to stay with them. He's expected to be traded elsewhere,
Yes.
per
there's-
reports.
Yep.
Yeah, there's teams like, if memory serves, the Suns were actually looking to maybe go get him. There was also the Lakers and one other team. It's like a team that's
I think it
vying.
was the Heat.
Yes,
Heat
the
was a
Heat.
big one.
Celtics got a little interest in them as well.
Who do the Celtics don't have interest in? is
Yeah,
the
you're right.
question.
Yeah.
They probably got interest in us too.
No, they don't.
No.
No, they
No,
don't.
if they have interest in us, then they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
we get paid the minimum. We can do it.
I don't even think you could pay us the minimum the G League players make, and we could honor
real?
that contract. Yeah. mm-mm.
Okay.
Listen, again, we are role players. We are not stars, so we have to remember that. But the star of the topic right now is Mr. Damian Lillard. I mean, what does that do for Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks' chance getting to the NBA Finals and winning this, Mr. Dylan Walton? Talk to me. Talk to
you want
me.
me to talk to you?
Talk to
you
me
want
now.
me to talk to you? Let me put both headphones on.
Talk to me now.
Talk to you, right? It opens up the floor for Giannis. When
Mhm.
you have a sniper from 50 feet out on, and Giannis is bulldozing his way through the lane, at that point, if I'm the opposing head coach, it's like, all right, guys, you tried hard enough, but don't give up because we can still keep fighting.
Keep trying.
Just keep trying because if we got 6 fouls to use them all. Use them all. Do anything, ammunition. But I'm happy for Dame. I've been wanting Dame to get out of Portland for years, man, and we need to see that type of talent on the biggest of stage. You don't pay a man $50-60 million to just watch him in the regular season. We pay that money. Well, you pay that money so you can get a championship and we can buy the jersey and revenue
Yeah.
and all that. That's what we need to see, prime time on prime time stage. And I'm excited because when playoffs come, baby, Dame time. It's going to be Dame time, baby. With Shadur, put the watch up.
Mhm.
IT is fourth quarter time, and I'm fiending, bro. I'm fiending. With a month left, media day starts in like 2 days, a week or something. Season starts around Halloween.
It's almost here.
This prime time. Football, basketball, hockey, baseball. This is here we go, boys. Here we go.
It's also primetime Dylan Walton time.
Yeah.
And
I get juiced.
He's shaking right now, ladies and
juiced.
gentlemen. If you can't see it on our cameras, he is shaking
I'm
right
juiced.
That's mostly because he's shaking his head just recently.
Yeah.
now. So to trade right out, let's talk about this. Like Mr. Dylan Walton said, you kind of opened the floor a little bit. You got Chris Middleton as well, so you really got a sniper and a bucket. What does Damian Lillard not do? I mean, he doesn't play defense all that great, but it's like enough to where he tries.
Yeah.
It's not James Harden where he just like stands there.
Yeah.
He tries a little bit. But offensively, he can penetrate the paint, throw it out to Milton if he doesn't like the look, or he can just lob it to Mr. Giannis if he wants to, or he can just shoot it from like
Wherever.
half court and legitimately have a chance to make it. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think they are the favorites now to win the finals with this?
I'm pretty sure they were one of the favorites beforehand heading into it. But adding in Damian Lillard it propels them even further. They've got, kind of like what I mentioned before, you've already got Chris Middleton on the floor, so now you've got a much, much better shooter from Drew Holiday into Damian Lillard. And so if Chris Middleton actually does have that down day, then you still have one of the best shooters in the NBA up and ready to go. With that inside threat in Giannis, it's going to be so incredibly hard to stop this team already. It was already incredibly hard to stop this team on offense already, but adding in Damian Lillard just
triples that.
It triples that, yeah.
Whatever number you want to put in front of the X, just it makes it that time
Nah,
that
for real.
much harder. But and then we were talking about it pre-show as well. I mean, you still got Bobby Portis, you still got Pat Connaughton, they still have
Brook
Jay
Lopez.
Crowder,
Yeah, they
Brook
still got
Lopez,
Brook Lopez too, and they got Malik Beasley too.
Yeah, Malik Beasley.
So it's not like they had to like completely purge themselves of their bench players and of their picks. I mean, their picks, what was it? They gave up a first-round pick, and then they swapped a first-round pick.
They gave up a 2029 first-round pick, and they swapped a 2028 and 2030 first-round picks with the Trailblazers.
Okay, so you're not just completely destroying your draft capital
No,
like some
you
teams
didn't.
have. And so you're looking at this deal, and you're going, man, I mean,
Everybody won. Like
everybody won.
Everybody won.
Hey, even Phoenix
got
who
depth. Got off Aiden.
Yeah, they randomly just like were like, hey, by the way, DeAndre Ayton, the guy who's kind of been a good player, kind of not been a good player for us, he's gone. And I bet Suns fans all around are going, yay. So, guys, that's exciting news right before the NBA season kicks off. So we'll segue now. I know you're sad, Mr. Dillon.
Nah, I love, bro. It's just
I know.
I love.
We'll
I
talk
love
about
basketball. Basketball has my heart, but sports has my entire body and my soul.
Good grief. All right. That's so funny. Oh, man. We're just a bunch of goofballs on this show, and I hope you appreciate it. But let's talk about – we will talk about basketball later with the WNBA standings. But let's return back to football because it is football season, baby.
Yes, sir.
We'll start off with college football. Colorado gets their dose of reality as they lost 42-6 on the road versus Oregon. A certain coach said that they are playing for clicks. We are playing for wins, and they definitely got the win against Mr. Deion Sanders. A little bit humbling for prime time. It doesn't get any easier for them as they play USC at home now. Guys,
number 8 ranked USC.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. They keep winning, and they somehow went down in the rankings. I'm talking about USC, not talking about Colorado. But, guys, do they have any chance against the reigning Heisman Trophy winner in Kelly Williams? Do you think they got a chance, or do you think this is going to be more of the same as we saw last week for Colorado?
I think it's probably going to be more of the same. Like, as much as I really want to see Deion and Colorado kind of propel forward, you're facing a team that hasn't allowed more than 28 points and hasn't scored lower than 42 points this season already.
Yeah,
and it was already a tough task beforehand, but I think if you had ended up beating I'm blanking on the name. Oregon, yeah. If you end up beating Oregon, then I think you have all the confidence in the world going into the USC game. But the moment that you lost, and knowing how good USC has actually been this season so far, I want to root for them. I want them to win so badly, but then they're probably not going to.
What about your uncle, man, Mr. Dillenwald? What do you think about it?
I knew it was gonna happen.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, I got faith in him because that's my uncle, and they're my cousin, out there on the field. But let's keep a buck. That's top 5 powerhouse football right there.
Mhm.
They can't compete. They was 1-11, and then now you going with Caleb.
See, this is where I think people maybe over tend to react a little bit. I do see what you're saying. Caleb Williams is, in the football terms, a bucket.
Yeah,
He's a bucket. He's probably going to win the Heisman again.
yeah, probably.
He's probably going to be the number 1 pick this next year.
Unless Arizona is the.
Unless Arizona's a team.
Yeah,
And then he may, I don't know, though. That
At this
number
point, it
one
might
money,
be the Bears. Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that number 1 money, that'll talk some sense into him, I think.
Yeah,
But USC's defense is nowhere near as good as Oregon's.
it's not.
It's
not.
nowhere near. So when you're in a shootout, weird stuff can happen.
It can.
And it comes down to whoever can make a play at the end. So do I think that maybe this game's a little more competitive for Colorado? I think so.
So like a 50-20 type thing.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
If their defense holds them to 20 points after that, then that's
If Colorado can keep it within 35 to 42 points, I think they got a chance.
So have a shootout, but
You mean-
if it
Yes,
go-
but
you
their
mean
defense.
them scoring or the other team?
Well, obviously they have to score as many points as the other team.
yeah,
Trey.
I kind of got that.
Okay. What I'm saying is defensively they need to hold them to 35
can't.
or 42 points. But again, their defense is just terrible.
Awful.
Terrible. And I mean, listen, next year, go hit the portal, go find you some dogs and
No,
defensive
they gonna
line.
come to the portal. You ain't gotta go looking.
Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
They're going to come to the portal. But again, you got to find some defensive linemen. They have no pass rush.
Yeah,
They
no.
can't stop the run. And
Can't
then
stop the pass.
Shiloh, the other the other son of Deion Sanders, as they all like to say, which I kind of feel bad for him
Yeah,
because
for
he's the
real.
other son because he's not the quarterback. But he's got like what 2 or 3 picks now in the season,
Yeah.
so he's going to get you a turnover. I
And
believe he got
can
one.
tackle in open space. He can tackle very well.
So I think he's one of the few pieces that you look at and you go, okay. And then again, Travis Hunter was not there because he has a lacerated kidney, which, a cool moment for Deion Sanders because obviously what the Colorado State player did was dirty, and I think we all believe that should not be in football. But
And,
he was receiving death threats. His family was receiving death threats. They found where he was living, and he was getting sent a lot of bad stuff. And Deion Sanders came out in the meeting and said, guys, we've forgiven him. He's a good football player. Travis has forgiven him.
They cool. They posted up on Instagram.
What he said is this does not belong in college football. And he said if there are any Colorado fans that are doing this, we don't want you part of our program, which I thought was super cool
Yeah,
because
that was real. That was real.
because again, what the Colorado State player did, and I'm blanking on his name, but
He's
What-
not that good. Well, we need to know his name.
right,
Yeah.
but what he did was wrong in the
Yeah.
game. But does he need to receive death threats
No.
and his family receive death threats? Absolutely not. So I think it's a cool moment to see something like that happen.
Henry Blackburn. That's
Yeah.
who the player is.
So
Is he projected to get drafted or anything?
Deion said he's a good player. So if Deion says he's a good
He
player,
being nice, bro. Probably.
I don't know. Again,
That would be nice.
again, you're talking to a guy who's not very the smartest, brightest bulb on the tree is like how I like to say it. But again, I think it was a cool moment to see. We'll move on from Colorado as they do face USC this weekend. We'll see how they do, and we'll talk about it next week. And then we'll talk about this. I have some big matchups here as we start conference play. Kentucky and Florida, maybe a little more interesting than people thought it was going to be. Ole Miss, LSU, Notre Dame, and Duke. We'll talk about the Notre Dame and Ohio State game quickly here, guys. Mr. Lou Holtz is now the number 1 most hated man in the state of Ohio. And Ryan Day is arguably in the top 5 for some reason, even though he found a way to win. Guys, what were your thoughts on that? Just Lou Holtz firing up the state of Ohio. Like, do you think that was just kind of blown out of proportions, or what were your thoughts?
Crazy. I don't know what's going on in college football right now, but
Everybody's calling everybody out.
yeah, like I think Deion got everybody a little worked up or something because it ain't never been this dramatic and messy before. Like
It's been dramatic, but it seems like every week there's just like somebody's got beef with somebody.
yeah, for no reason.
For really no reason. I mean, I understand Lou Holtz maybe calling out the toughness of your team. Maybe it
Yeah.
can fire you up a little bit, but like, come on,
Like
Ryan Day.
he's
The
taking
guy's
personal shots, low key.
a little bit, but I mean, the guy's like 80-something years old. He may or may not have dementia. I mean, Trey, what do you think? I think it was a little bit blown out of proportion by Ryan Day.
I felt like it was a little bit blown out of proportion. I don't really know as much. Like I said a lot, college sports is not my forte, but it is. So I I'm sorry, the only thing I can keep remembering about this is the thing for Pat McAfee.
Yeah, for those of you who
I
don't
seen that
know,
clip.
for those of you not seen the reaction that they did for Pat McAfee, who, surprise, surprise, he kind of got this whole thing going. He's kind of a pot stirrer himself, and we were big fans of Pat McAfee here at the Role Player Podcast. But yeah, that video was hilarious. Obviously, we can't air it because there's some cuss words, and we're not allowed to air cuss words on this program. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit blown out of proportion.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but we'll move on. And guys, I think one thing we learned from this week is Alabama is not going anywhere.
No, they won't.
No.
I said it last week. I'll keep saying it. Nick Saban's probably the best college head coach that will ever walk this earth.
Yep.
And you could argue he's probably the best coach in
Ever.
all time.
In
You can-
football, regardless.
See,
NFL.
I don't know if you say he is the best, but you got to throw him in the conversation. I mean, you got to throw him in the conversation of Parcells, Belichick, Shula, and then obviously Nick Saban as well. But yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, they're not going anywhere.
But it's gonna be a good game with them in Mississippi State.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about good game. Mississippi State can't. Kind of defensively, same thing as Colorado.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can't stop a cold right now. But we'll see. You never know.
Yeah.
Every week is different in
Yep.
college football. Again, every week is different. So we're excited to see it. We got some big games going this week. Let's talk about the NFL. Man, a lot to talk about this week. Let's talk about the
crazy.
Cowboys because I like talking about the Cowboys losing because as my Titans lost, as my dad's going to remind me when he sees this episode, that my Titans are not that good at football.
They are.
Right
they're
now.
not. They're not.
They're not a good
But when I can
offensive
talk
team.
about the Cowboys losing, then it makes me feel a little happier. So I'm sorry, Dad,
Yes.
that
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, but your Cowboys lost to the Cardinals. You lost an astronaut. They did lose 28-16 against the Cardinals. Josh
James Conner running all
Josh
over them.
Dobbs,
Josh Dobbs.
who if Reese Britt was here would be fired up right now.
He was fiending earlier, bro.
the former Tennessee Volunteer quarterback in Josh Dobbs gets his first career win as a starter in 7
That was-
years.
against America's team.
He was close last year with the Titans, I believe, against Jacksonville. Didn't have
then-
it done. Then 2 straight games this year where he couldn't get it done.
Yep. So he's been close, but he finally got the cigar. He finally got the cigar, as the saying, close but no cigar. He finally got the cigar. And, he's been with 6 different teams multiple different times. He's been with the Steelers multiple times. He's been with the Browns multiple times. He's been with 6 different teams in total. Titans, Cardinals, Brownies, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Steelers, I believe are the 6 teams total. I may be missing one or I may be repeating one. But huge storyline for the Cardinals. Hey, maybe they're not so bad.
No, they are.
There you are.
There they are.
They could be 3-0. As I watched J.J. Watt on the Pat McAfee show yesterday while I was working, he mentioned that they could be 3-0 if they go.
So could the Broncos.
No.
So could the Chargers.
No. Well, the Chargers are 1-2.
Let's-
Wait, 1 and 2. But
Let's
they could've
not
been
talk
3-0
about
though.
the Broncos. Please.
Yeah,
That's
well,
just-
no, we are
No,
going
we
to talk
have
about
to
the
talk about
you
the
know what I
Broncos.
mean. Just
Yeah.
let's not put the Broncos in that
Actually, let's
conversation.
transition
How
to the Broncos now, as Trey Whiteout just mentioned.
Yeah, forget
the
Cowboys.
Lions
We-
were the other team
Oh,
with the Josh Dobbs. It was the Steelers
Oh,
in
that's
2017, 2019,
right.
Jacksonville in 2019 as well, then the Steelers 2020, 21, Browns 2022, Lions and Titans same years, and then Browns, then Cardinals again.
All right, so I'm seeing our graphics being put up about the Broncos and the Dolphins, so I'm going to talk about them as well. Because that is what you call an old-fashioned butt whooping. Yes,
Mhm.
that is the PG version of it because we are PG on the show.
blasphemous.
We want to say what the actual term is for this.
Yeah, the actual
I
term
know it
is
was.
not PG.
Belt to
It's
back.
no way
That's
to
what it
rate it.
was.
It's
So-
belt to back.
Belt
That's
to back.
that's
Yep.
the best way to describe
So
it.
they did lose 70-20. If you had Devon Achane, Tua Tagovailoa, or like myself, Raheem Mostert, you had a good week fantasy-wise,
Yep.
and so I did.
Should've picked him up.
That's what they all say.
Yeah.
That's what they all say. But guys, I mean, is Sean Payton already on the hot seat for the Broncos
No,
because you're
no.
0-3?
No.
Well, you're 0-3 and you just lost 70-20.
It's whoever the defensive coordinator is his fault.
Vance Joseph, I believe.
Yeah. Russell hasn't done anything wrong. He's played a decent QB game. Kept the
He-
ball out of harm's way. Touchdown. Give it to the running back.
I will say, yeah, Russ is not the main issue
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
not.
The offense itself has not been the main issue. That defense, which was one of the best
But
last
year,
season.
yeah.
Like, wasn't there a stat last season that was like if they held the held the other team to like 16 or 17 points in the
yeah.
game, they'd be like what 6-3 or something.
Yeah.
At one point, it was just that defense has been awful this year.
Yeah, it's weird because again, that was the topic of conversation last year. Is they're a quarterback away, or 2 years ago they're always a quarterback away. Then they get Russell Wilson. The defense still plays well, and Russell Wilson looked like garbage last year. And now he's looked like, okay, he's a little bit back to form.
Yeah, he's looked solid, and then
now the defense garbage.
Yep.
And I picked them for fantasy because I had Dallas defense. And
how many defenses are you picking for fantasy?
well,
Slick?
On ESPN we get 2. We get a bench and we get a starter. So I had
Mhm.
Dallas as a starter, of course. And I was like, oh, Denver is a legit defense last year, you know.
I don't
And
have a
then
bench
you
defense.
ma-
I stack players. I'm like, give me another
What you play
receiver.
fantasy on?
ESPN.
For real? Which
Mhm.
ESPN?
The ESPN fantasy.
well, I'm gonna
For
assume
real?
I'm
Mhm.
gonna assume the ESPN website.
No, I got the app
Oh, okay.
because I'm big time. I got the app.
Same.
All right, so and then last thing about the NFL is Joe Burrow. They get the win Monday night over the Rams. Also another Monday night game. The Eagles get the win over the Bucks. That's no surprise there. But Joe Burrow with a bad calf goes in and avoids the 0-3 start. I mean,
Is that on Joe Burrow and the offense, or is that on the Rams' offense being legitimately awful?
Hold
Well,
on, hold
the
on. Don't
Bengals
hurt Stafford.
defense-
Don't hurt Stafford.
the
now.
Bengals defense
I mean, I
is
just
pretty
said
solid.
the Rams' offense.
Don't
not
hurt. Don't go for Stafford.
The Bengals defense is pretty solid, which I'm
That is
pretty
true.
nervous.
Yeah.
I'm pretty nervous about them playing the Titans this weekend because
You
of our.
pretty nervous. If you're gonna lose.
See, you say that, and then
Here's the
Derrick
thing.
Henry just finds a way to just run for like 200
Yeah.
yards.
Here's the thing. It's probably going to be a really big defensive battle. I'm
Yeah, probably will.
not really expecting the Titans' offense to go off on them. I'm not really expecting the Bengals' offense to go off on the Titans. It's going to be a very, very. It's kind of going to be a slugfest on the defensive side.
Yeah.
They are going to probably hurt the offensive players to make it to kind of say, yeah, no, we're going to be the stars today, not all of you guys.
Not all these touchdowns.
Yeah.
Hey man, let's calm down on the hurt talk. We've already had enough
You,
players.
you
get
know what I
hurt.
mean.
Burrow needs to sit down, honestly.
know,
He
Mike-
needs to, he's
Hey, Mike Williams down for the year for
Yeah,
the
I
Chargers.
seen that.
Man, it seems like every week. I mean, it's the NFL, and I
Yeah.
feel bad for Mike Williams because he is a really good player, and he had a really good game prior to this injury. But it's the NFL. But man, like that's another big name guy that's out for the year.
Mhm.
I hope it's not that turf.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, maybe it's preseason, and people may not want to hear this, but maybe it's you don't play preseason and then you go from 0 to 100, and then you get hurt. Like that's a legitimate conversation I think coaches need to have. I mean, I understand why because you don't want to lose a guy during preseason.
But it's just like,
You
I'd
got-
rather lose you in preseason than lose you week 3.
Yeah, you got to callous your body up a little bit to play in an NFL game, but I don't know. I'm not an NFL coach nor a GM, so I don't make decisions. But we got about 6 minutes left, so we are going to talk about the quote-unquote other sports. We've already mentioned.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Hey, man, listen. It's
Come
football.
on, bro.
It's football season.
The other sports, you going to do them like
It's football season, and football is king in America. And
that?
there's
It
no
is.
denying this.
It is.
But what's king for Dylan Walton is the WNBA.
Yes.
It sounds like.
Yes.
And
it
their
is.
playoffs are underway. They're in the second round. Tuesday, we had 2 games. The Liberty gets the win over the Suns, 84-77. Or the Sun. Do they go by the Suns or just Sun?
Sun.
That's what I'm
The
trying to
Connecticut
figure.
Sun.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I mean, if you're going to copy the name, at least copy the name right, guys.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. And then the Aces get the win over the Wings, 91-84.
Yeah.
So they do play this Friday night.
Yep.
Let's see. What is the...
It's 1-1 for the Liberty and the Sun.
It's 2-0 for the
Aces
Aces
in
right
the
now.
win.
Okay, my ACN
Ace-
app was
The Aces
slow.
going to wipe that down. That's going to be
Yeah.
cool. That's going to...
Kelsey Plum gonna just wipe him off the floor and
No,
say...
Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson.
Okay.
Kelsey Plum hit like 2 threes, maybe get like a little floater, tough layup, couple free throws. But Chelsea Gray and Asia Wilson is a serious problem.
I got you. And then for the Liberty and Aces, Sabrina's just, a bucket.
Yeah, she's a bucket,
Yeah.
and she's the Sun giving the Liberty a run for their money. They making Brianna work, they making Sabrina overwork, and the Sun getting whatever look they want to. They want a 3, they want to create off the dribble, they want to create off pick and roll, off a pin down, wherever they want to create off for, they can get to it. It's just, can you make the shot?
Can you make the shot? Indeed, it's going to be interesting. Especially as we've seen recently in the media that Sabrina has gotten more media coverage,
yeah.
and she's obviously got her shoe release. So shout out to her for
Yeah.
for.
I
doing
need
the
a
shoe
person,
release.
Sabrina, if you watching this.
She's not watching this.
You never know, bro.
There's no shot.
She
If
may be
she's
bored. She
watch-
may be bored.
If she's watching this, then how did that happen in the first
I'm
place?
going to add her on Twitter. I'll do it. I add her on Twitter.
Okay,
And
she's
us.
not gonna add you back.
It don't
Yeah,
matter. I just add her, just be like, hey, watch the show. I love you. Send me a pair of shoes.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. If you get any response at all, first of all, you gotta watch if it's catfish. Second of all, I'd be very thoroughly impressed.
I got motion. I got
Motion, he
motion.
says. Okay, let's FL and XFL. They have officially merged. That happened today, so we kind of had to add that into our notes.
I didn't see that, so that's good.
That's something that's interesting because it's kind of, why would you compete against each other, two leagues playing at the same time? Why would that be a thing? And now it's like, hey, let's just go
Make
ahead
money
and
together.
make money together, be a competitor to the NFL, not trying to beat the NFL because it's not going to happen. But hey, spring football is honestly not a bad thing.
It's not.
It gives us more sports to watch during the spring when there's kind of a little bit of a lull.
No, ain't no little bit.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's the NBA, but again, it's like, until you get to the playoffs, it's kind of like not who cares, but kind of like not as exciting. Whereas
Yeah.
like NFL, it's like every week, every game.
Because it's the anticipation.
It's that anticipation. It's 100% that. Let's talk about some NHL. The Preds play tonight. They open
The
up.
showcase.
They open up their
I'll be in
preseason
attendance.
against the Tampa Bay Lightning. You say that you'll be there.
Wait, they play somebody tonight?
They play the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight
Oh, so I
at
thought it was
Bridgestone.
like a show. No, I'm going to a showcase tonight at the F&M Bank Arena.
It's something different.
Yeah, it's just something different.
They actually play tonight, so you're not going to see the Preds tonight. You're going to see them. I don't know. You're going to see something else.
Well, that's lame. I wasted $20 for no reason. I could have put that in the gas tank.
I don't know. I'm getting a text here from my TD Isabella Christensen. She's saying that they don't play tonight. That it's the F&M Showbank. I don't know. She's saying the Preds. Yes. I don't know. It's a lot of words that she texts me. Again, from what I saw on their calendar and ESPN is that they have a preseason game against Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning. I could be 100% wrong.
I hope so because I'm going to have a
No,
real attitude.
No, they have a game against the Tampa Bay Lightning on the 30th.
The 30th.
For
Yeah.
2 more nights.
Okay, 2 more nights. So I was wrong,
Oh,
but
thank
it's right
God.
around the corner.
I was about to have a serious attitude.
Okay. I'm glad your $20 is going to something good.
Yeah.
She's saying that was last night. I don't know, man. Oh, you know what? That's because I made this run down a different day. So, again, I'm an idiot. That's no surprise there. But their preseason is underway, so we'll get to see the Preds in action here pretty soon as they open up the season. Golf-wise, again, if Free Spirit was here, he could tell us more about it. The Ryder Cup starts Friday,
Yes.
goes through Sunday. Zach Johnson is the captain of the team. And quickly, guys, we got about a minute left as we kind of, wasted time as we normally do on the show. Any final thoughts?
Right. Well, boxing. I'm a boxing fan.
Big boxing fan.
Canelo Alvarez and Jermell Charlo fight for Undisputed at 168. Undisputed versus Undisputed. This is the first time in boxing history where 2 Undisputeds at 2 different weight classes, 154 and 168, will clash. So it will be a great night for me Saturday night.
All right, Saturday night. Trey, anything else before we bounce?
Not that I can think of immediately.
All right, guys. We'll hopefully see you next week. This has been the Role Players Podcast, and we hope you all have a good rest of the week. West, good grief. Have a good day, guys. We
Still
hope to see you.
thinking that AFC West you are.
Yeah, we hope to see you next week, guys. Have a good one.
Be
Peace.
good. Boom.